Do you know that one person in Indonesia wastes 300 kilograms of food each year? Have you ever thought that if you waste your food, you also contribute to climate change? Or do you even know what food waste and food loss is? So, food wastage is the food that is not eaten. They mostly end up in a landfill. Food waste refers to food that is of good quality and fit for consumption, but does not get consumed because it is discarded, either before or after it is left to spoil. Food loss refers to food that spoils early on in the supply chain. This can be caused by poor crop harvest, animal deaths, spillage, transportation issues, and insufficient storage. It is important to note that when we waste and lose food, we also waste all the energy and water it takes to grow, harvest, transport, and package it. And if food goes to the landfill and rots, it produces methane, a greenhouse gas even more potent than carbon dioxide. Around 1/4 of global greenhouse gas emissions is caused by food production. 24% of this emissions comes from food lost in supply chains or wasted by consumers. 15% comes from losses in the supply chain caused by poor storage, poor handling techniques, and spoilage in transport and processing. The other 9% comes from food that is thrown away. FAO estimated that if food waste is a country, then it'll be third largest in the carbon footprint of global food wastage, with 4 GTCO2 per year. One of the many reasons this happened would be consumption habits. An example is when some Indonesian university students' habit of buying 2 portions of food at the same time with the thought of reheating their second portion later. However, most of the time, this other half would be wasted because of various reasons. Government regulation takes a crucial role too. Unfortunately, Indonesian government doesn't really regulate the food waste and loss issue in Indonesia specifically. However, they put their focus on waste management, like how different types of waste should be separated and the process of said waste disposal. One fascinating fact is that while 1/3 of the world's foods are lost, which is 1.3 billion tons and costs $750 billion every year, 795 million people in the world are going hungry. So, have you ever thought that for every food you waste or lose would mean a lot to many people? Based on those datas, if only 1/4 of the food currently lost or wasted were saved, it would be enough to feed the world's hungry. So, what can we do to tackle this issue? The simplest thing to do is to raise awareness of the problem and how to prevent it. Consumers are also recommended to create better consumption habits in order to change the cultural approach that seems to be stuck within the generations. FAO's guide, Toolkit, Reducing the Food Wastage Footprint, on the other hand, had mentioned that one of the major priorities in decreasing food wastage is developing better food, harvest, storage, processing, transport, and retailing processes. Joining farmers together in cooperatives or professional associations can also help to reduce food losses. Both businesses and households need to implement better monitoring on their scale of wastages. Better communication among each participant mentioned in this food supply chain is greatly suggested. After knowing all this information, do you want to contribute to changing this kind of situation we have at hand? Well, we have a challenge for you. We challenge you to stop wasting food for a 30 days period. Here is what you can do to help decrease the amount of food waste in your area. You can start by making weekly menu plans to make sure what you will buy and eat. Buy what you would call ugly fruits and vegetables, and use wilting produce in soups and make better use of leftovers. Smaller servings, rotating older food items towards the front of shelves and refrigerators, freezing surplus items, and composting waste can also help. The general idea is that you have to think before you buy your food, and make sure to minimize the waste as much as possible. Since you're the only one who has the privilege of choosing what you consume and the amount of it, you are able to control your consumption and wastage. This will greatly help to create a new, environment-friendly culture that will reduce food waste.